Welcome back to Make It in Media. Today, we're going to talk about entry-level roles and internships. You want one, you need one, but getting one, that's a whole different story. I'm Camila Brango, your host, here to give you all the tools you need to survive in this job hunt. So, you're checking job boards more than you check your Instagram. You've got 10 tabs open, your resume is on version 17, and every listing wants at least 3 years of experience for an internship. Make it make sense. But hey, you're not crazy for wanting the dream job. You know, the one where you get to actually do cool stuff, not just refill the coffee. In this episode, we're giving you the real deal on how to actually land it, from making your resume stand out to align your experience with what managers are actually looking for. We've got you covered with tips from people actually doing the hiring at big media companies. Okay, let's jump right in. No more procrastinating. There are so many opportunities out there, and media isn't slowing down anytime soon. So yes, there's absolutely a place for you, but before you start searching for what that dream job is, we have to talk strategy. Tiffany Bender, former senior producer at Condé Nast, says your job search needs a game plan, and she offers an approach that you might want to try.
I would say you should treat your job hunt out of school almost like when you were first applying to colleges. So you should have a safety, a reach, and a fit job. And I literally have it down to like a Excel sheet when I was like applying to jobs. There are jobs that you can get right out the park, right? So like when I was first out of school, I was like, I have a master's degree, everybody's gonna want me. Wasn't the case. I had 2 internships, I had a full-time job at Aldo, and I was like, okay, so I need to figure this out, right? The first time I got out of school, I had my fit, I had my safety, I had my reach, and then my reaches, I worked extra hard on. My fits, I was like, submit, figure it out, you know?
Okay, so organizing goes a long way, but make sure to strike while the iron's hot. If you've ever procrastinated on submitting an application or are somewhat of a perfectionist, Jhanelle Dennis, former talent acquisition sourcer at Viacom CVS, has a tip you need to hear.
Probably one of the most important things is if you see a job and you're interested in it, try to apply as soon as you can. And I say that because I'm a little bit triggered because I'm someone who's a perfectionist and I will take all the time in the world to redo my resume and my cover letter and make sure it's perfect. And in that week or couple of days that you're doing that, it's very likely that someone else can come and get interviewed and the team loves them and you miss out just because you weren't in that first batch of people. So I'd say my biggest piece of advice is make sure that you get your application in as soon as you can.
So you've got your fresh list of dream jobs down and you're ready to apply? Now, let's talk about your resume. Lori Waldon, president and general manager of KOAT TV, reframes how we should think about our resume.
Controlling your own narrative. So I look at a resume and it may have someone who has moved around. That's okay, because be ready to say, here's why I did, here's what I did, here's why I did, but here's what I want and why I want that. And as long as your narrative is strong and it's focused, that is a huge selling point. So I wouldn't worry so much about what you don't have. Here's what I want, and here's why I think I would be a good fit for you.
Okay, guys, I want you to understand this point Lori just made. Your resume is a story that tells a recruiter what you've done and what you hope to do at the company once you're hired. You want to showcase your experience, but it's just as important to get your future career goals across as well. All right, still wondering what to put on your resume? Include relevant experience you want to talk about. If it applies to the job and adds value, go ahead and put it down. But if you know you skip it over in an interview, it's okay to leave it out. Let's throw it back to Ramon Escobar to hear how recruiters really think.
So that's one thing. I would just put stuff on there that's interesting. People always ask me, well, should I put on there that I was a baton twirler or was in the choir? And I'm like, do you want to talk about that? Yes. Is there something interesting about that when I look at it, I'm going to, by the way, if you put baton twirler on the resume and you walk into my office, I'm going to be asking you about it. Whatever you put on your resume, be prepared to tell me a story about it.
Okay, resumes are only half the game. Let's talk LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your friend. Learn to use it, learn to love it. You can reach out to recruiters, connect with people who have the jobs you think you might want, and build a network of contacts who can help you along your journey. Here, Nina Temple, former global recruiter manager at Google, breaks down how to stand out from the crowd of cold messages and connection requests.
Yeah, I would just echo, everybody uses LinkedIn, so use as part of your social media strategy, really make sure that you're buttoned up. And again, we all receive LinkedIn messages, but if it's just, hi, I'd like to be part of your network, I don't know who you are. But if somebody sends me a very thoughtful LinkedIn note and sort of says, I'm very interested in these roles for this reason, there's a huge difference. So it's again with all of these things, be so thoughtful. Every time you send something out, think, who's this going to? Why am I sending it to them? Am I being specific? It all counts.
Remember, just clicking submit isn't enough anymore. Jackie Shaheed, early careers manager at Warner Bros. Discovery, says it's all about following up.
Not only applying to the job, but reaching out, because right now it's just so competitive. You can't just apply. I can apply all day long, and you'll hear stories about early careers out there saying, I've applied, I've been ghosted, I haven't been responded to. So utilize your network upward, across, everywhere you can to be as successful as possible in your search.
Speaking of your network, networking is a key part of getting your foot in the door. If you need some tips on how to do that, you can check out our second episode of Make It in Media. All right, here's the last tip for getting that dream job. What's one way to build that network with higher ups? Informational interviews.
People reach out to me on LinkedIn, ask me if they can talk to me for half an hour about how I got started and what my career path looked like. They're low stakes because you're just finding out about each other, and you are then going to be on this person's radar if anything happens to come up. I love the idea of asking for 2 names before you end that networking date. Just reach out to people. I think people, they do like to talk about themselves, and I think people also like to help other people. There's like inherent good in people. So just do it, just cold call people.
Guys, it's important to remember your dream opportunity won't likely happen overnight, but your persistence will get you there. Here's Jim Rich, former executive editor for the Huffington Post, with a reminder that ambition and determination are essential.
Find other interesting things to say about yourself, and just don't give up. Just be relentless. Nobody's ever going to not hire you or not call you in for an interview because you were a pain in their butt. There's a better chance of that actually getting you through the door.
Before we get into our final segment, let me throw in one last gem. If you're going into a creative role like graphic design, video editing, or writing, you need a portfolio. There are tons of platforms like Adobe Portfolio, Wix, or even a clean Google Drive folder. Just make sure it's work that you're proud of. All right, guys, let's break down everything we've learned this episode. Number 1, own your story. It's your superpower. Know your experience and lead with the things that make you proud and that you want to showcase. Number 2, apply fast, not perfect. Perfectionism can actually slow you down. The hiring team won't wait for your final draft resume. Sometimes getting your foot in the door means hitting send before you feel 100% ready. Speed counts. Number 3, you've got your resume, but what about relationships? Your resume opens the door, but networking gets you inside. Talk to people, DM the hiring manager, set up that informational interview. Half the job search is just letting the right people know that you exist. And number 4, don't skip the cover letter. It's your chance to highlight parts of your story that might not fit on your resume. Make sure to personalize it with details to help recruiters get to know the real you. Okay, so by now you've got tips on everything from resumes to networking to stand out in a crowded field. But before we wrap, it's time for a little motivation to keep that momentum going. It's time for our Media Moves Pep Talk. Because breaking into media isn't just about the how, it's about keeping your confidence up while doing it. Let's get into it. Here is Amarachi Ugonabo on how your uniqueness is an asset when applying.
First one for me is like always be a sponge and just soak up and absorb as much information, knowledge as you can, wherever you are right now, whether it's in school, whether it's a position you like or don't like. Absorb as much as you can. That will help, because all that information is going to help you get to the next step towards where you want to be. And once you get to where you want to be, keep learning, keep soaking it up and all that stuff. And the second thing, very quickly, I would say that niche thing that you think that, oh, not that many people know about it, I don't want to bring it up, that's going to be like your greatest asset in wherever you go. Like, I remember so many times I brought up something that I was the only one who knew about it, and my coworkers would go to me because I'm the K-pop expert, I'm the anime expert. So they were just like, let's ask Amarachi about this. Like, that's going to take you so far and make you stand out from everybody else.
Let's close this out with someone who's been right where you're at. I mean, we all start somewhere. Here's Puja Vohra on making a practical first step towards that dream company.
There's so many people that'll, call me or, are interested in jobs in media, and really these big names seem really sexy and shiny. But to Noel's point, often folks that have started, who are at Netflix at entry level, already have experience from other places. So think about companies that are adjacent, and cut your teeth there, because they will not be getting the thousands and thousands of resumes that you talk about, right? So think about your industry that you're interested in and say, who are the vendors, who are the agencies, who are the other providers, who does that, and talk to people in those industries to understand, what agencies am I looking for? But much easier to get into something that's not as sexy sometimes. And remember, your career is a huge journey. It's not, the first job is just the first job.
So you can secure your dream job or internship. It's just about being strategic and staying confident. And hey, if you're feeling stuck or want to know more, send us your questions via DM on our Instagram, and we might feature you on our Lightning Wheel segment with prizes and more. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, you got this. Make It in Media from the Center for Communication is produced in association with BRIC, a leading arts and media institution anchored in downtown Brooklyn. Camila Brango is the show's host. The lead writer and executive producer is Derek Bourbon. Marangelica De Castro is the floor manager and head of social media. Fred Brown is the supervising producer. Clinton Filson Jr. is the director. Franklin Grant is the audio technician. Jonathan Ortiz is the operations director. Jose Astorga is the studio engineer. Joel Topsik is a consulting producer. And the show is edited by Marangelica De Castro and Derek Bourbon.